Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another video. We are looking at the meta in the game right now. Now, just before I get into anything, I know someone out there is going to be like, oh, you don't like the word meta, blah, blah, blah. And I get it. I don't. However, that doesn't stop there being a meta. That doesn't stop there being the most popular classes and specs and things like that. So it's still something that I want to be able to provide for you guys so you guys can at least see what's popular right now. So what I'm going to do is go through all the different weapons real quickly in this video, and we're just going to cover all of them, have a look what's there. So Curse is really prominent right now. Great Curse and Demonic. Demonic got a little bit of a nerf, and Great Curse didn't really get changed. So Great Curse kind of came up to the same level. I would personally say Great Curse is just a little bit better right now with how prominent sort of nature healers are. However, I think you can use both and get away with it. If you've got CC, crowd control, then I would use Demonic. If you've got anything like a short crowd control or no crowd control at all, I'd say Aura of Decay or Area of Decay, Great Curse Staff is probably better. Armor Pierce, even with its nerfs, probably still the best ability that Curse Staff have on their W. Passives, Energetic, Furious, whatever floats your boat really. Frost is still crazy strong. Everyone's still using one-handed Frost. Still does a lot of damage. A little bit of like utility nerfs in the last patch. However, it's not really affected it much. People have too high mastery in it for it to go away. It's still a very, very good option. Arcane, barely seen any Arcanes, if any at all. It's just not in the meta, and it hasn't come back in even with the changes. Holy. So here's the first interesting one. Obviously, Holy Staff. There's been more people using Generous Heal rather than Flash Heal. Obviously, Flash Heal has been changed majorly in the last patch. So typically, it's Holy Staff and Eye of Secrets with Generous Heal, Holy Blessing, or Sacred Pulse, and obviously Desperate Prayer. With the Eye of Secrets, just to help that mana, even though they're obviously still struggling at the moment. Great Holy is a viable alternative, however has a lot more mana issues. So if you're struggling for mana or if you're healing a lot, you might just have to use the one-hand Holy with the Eye of Secrets. If you've got Master in it, then yeah, I'd definitely stick to that. It's not worth the changeover. However, if you're leveling from scratch, I would actually say Great Holy is probably a little bit better, just because it has that Holy Explosions to top a group up, and has the obviously self-peel in that as well. Fire's in a weird spot. Fire got a bit of a damage buff, and obviously Frost got a little bit of a damage nerf, so between the two, Fire's probably come back into the meta a little bit. Fire Wave, Fire Wall, I would still say Fire Wall's better, however Fire Wave's definitely an option now, and I would say Great Fire is probably the main choice, if not the only real choice for Fire Staffs. Armor I'm going to do in another video because I'm going to talk all about that, so that'll be coming out probably tomorrow. I'm actually stockpiling a load of videos, so yeah. I'm going to do all the weapons in one and then all the armor in the other. Quarter Staffs, we haven't seen any Quarter Staffs. Obviously Soul Scythe got nerfed, and that was the only real viable one outside of Ironclad. Even Ironclad, I haven't really seen too many of them being used in the last couple of days, with obviously that tank Ironclad build, so yeah, I would still say it's probably not as strong as like the Heavy Mace Great Hammer. Daggers, hates to say it, but daggers just aren't viable. Bloodletter you can probably get away with. Dual Daggers not very good. Black Hands, the change to Devastating Strike didn't really do anything. Claws obviously not very good. So yeah, daggers as a whole not very good for GVGs. Obviously this is a 5v5 Hellgate GVGs thing rather than open world. Nature. Druidic Staff is the most common healing weapon I see at the moment. That and an Eye of Secrets. You have a lot of utility. Protection of Nature just reduces damage and increases healing. The rejuvenation being reverted back to 3 stacks is really good. And obviously having the Spiritual Seed, yeah, I would say Druidic Staff is probably the strongest healing weapon right now. Spears, obviously Glaive did get nerfed, finally. However, people have so high mastery and specialization in it. We're still seeing spears all over the place, so yeah, it's not a huge change to them. However, I wouldn't say it's like S plus tier. However, it's still a good weapon. It still does a lot of damage. And actually, the fling still displaces people, forces people to use defensive, stuff like that. So, yeah, definitely something that I would say is a good weapon and can be used. Bows. Bows actually surprised me because the deadly shot changes, I actually thought that would bring it into meta a little bit. It does a lot of single target damage, however, just didn't. It didn't really pick up. The Whispering Bow is probably the only GVG viable one. It does a lot of single target damage, and if you can get it, it has a lot of poke, has a lot of burst. You can do so much with it, but it's on you guys to try and make it work. It's definitely not the easiest. It's not the best weapon, as all I'll say. Crossbow, heavy crossbow, still super strong, no real changes to that. The explosive bolt, sunder shot or noise eraser, and obviously sweeping bolt does a lot of damage. Tier 8, this is going to be crazy. There's a couple of teams running a heavy crossbow at the moment just because they do so much damage, and they're quite a safe playstyle as well in that they just sit back and sort of poke out with skill shots. Hammers. Great hammer, still really the only viable tanking only viable hammer for obviously you use it for tanking, tackle, geyser, bash knee, probably the best combination at the moment. Slows them, disorientate with power geyser. You can use heavy cleave. Seen some people make it work and they do like a hybrid, little bit more burst DPS. And it's definitely not bad, but I personally prefer geyser just for that peel, and obviously tackle getting them stuns off. So probably the only viable hammer at the moment. Mace, again, we're going to see the same thing in maces. Great mace or heavy mace is probably the only viable mace. Battle howl, snare charge, and defensive slam. You can actually swap to stalling slam at 70. This is actually a very, very good ability, especially now. Healers are struggling for healing already. If you get this onto a healer and you can sustain it, that's actually going to be a huge, big thing. That could actually change the tide of a fight if a healer just cannot regain energy. So yeah, I would say heavy maces with that is probably the best tank weapon right now. I believe, and I'm not 100% sure, this is how it was in beta. If you put this on a target, it also stops mana potions doing anything, and that is, or energy potions, that is absolutely huge. So yeah, I would definitely consider this the best weapon, tanking weapon right now if you get it right. Obviously a little bit harder to use, but yeah, definitely if you can get it right, it's going to be good. Axes, carrying cooler, one of the strongest weapons right now for bruiser melee DPS. I'd say Carrying Cooler is probably the only one, maybe Scythe. However, I don't personally like Scythe compared to Carrying Cooler. That healing reduction on the Morgana Raven is just huge, and obviously healers again struggling for healing at the moment. Morgana Raven's gonna really ruin their day if you get that on someone that's getting low or on a whole team and they just can't top up. And finally, swords. So, swords, again, a weird one. Claret Blade, the most prominent that I've seen. Mighty Swing obviously does a huge amount of damage linked in with that Mortal Agony. I have seen more people swap into Splitting Lash. It does do a lot of damage, so it's not surprising. Dual Swords, I actually saw a couple of people in Hellgates using Dual Swords. Does a little bit of damage, does quite a lot of damage. It's probably the more aggressive Claret Blade. However, Claret Blade does have that extra tankiness with the fact it can use a sarcophagus. I would still say that's better, and obviously Broadsword's still stronger than both for single target burst, especially with that Mortal Agony. So yeah, in terms of like the meta of what I've seen at the moment, typical team comp, 1 backliner, 2 bruisers, 1 tank, and a healer. You basically, obviously the healer, I've seen either 1 healer, 2 healers, range DPS. Typically, ranged DPS are either Frost or Curse, maybe even both if you're going to use like a tank, melee DPS, Frost, Curse, Healer. But typically, it's either it's that sort of layout. Haven't seen double Healer come into play as much as we thought it would. But yeah, so definitely interesting to see. This is how I kind of rate the weapons at the moment. But yeah, tell me what you're using, if you're enjoying it. If there's anything I've missed out, please let me know in the comments below. Thanks guys for watching, and catch you later. Goodbye.